How are you guys? Thank you for coming out and making history with being at one of the first, if not the first ever comedy show in Antarctica. Hooray for you guys. Woo!
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know me, who haven't been on a small boat with me for the last 5 days, my name is Hillary Anger and I am a mediocre comedian living in St. Louis, Missouri, USA. And I wanted to start off by just talking about that question I just asked you, how are you? And I used to run a seminar for the students at my university who are going abroad for study abroad. And in order to help prepare them for the culture shock, I started reading about how other countries prepare their students for coming to the US. And I found some materials from Holland that warned the Dutch students, Americans are insincere. Yeah, and they had two big examples for that. And the first was that question, how are you? And they said, don't ever answer that question. People are going to ask you all the time how you are. And there's only one right answer, which is, fine, how are you? Or you just ask the question right back again, oh, hi, how are you? And they said that the other example they gave was that people you'll first meet somebody and they'll say, hey, we should really get lunch sometime. And the Dutch students would sit by the phone waiting for an invitation to lunch. And what they didn't realize is that Americans don't mean that as an invitation as much as a compliment. It's a compliment. It means that in a hypothetical world where I had the time, I would enjoy having lunch with you. So I wanted to also just tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm originally from New York City, born and raised in the city. And when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, New York was a legitimately dangerous place. We used to carry around $5 bills that we called mugger money, so that if somebody approached you with a gun, they wouldn't have to go away empty-handed. And when the crack epidemic first became a big thing, they shut down the entire New York City public school system in order to have a day to talk about crack. And they called it Crack Day. And it was awesome. We learned all about the chemical composition and the effect of crack on the brain. Now, mind you, I went to a math and science high school. We were nerds. In fact, when Revenge of the Nerds came out, we thought it was funny, but we didn't really get it because there were no cool people at my high school. Now, I think we had a football team. Technically, we did, because we had the awesomest sports cheer. And I'm going to say it for you guys. If you're ready, do you want to hear my sports cheer? All right. Arc sine,
tangent, cosine, sine, 3.14159.
Goes times in. That was actually our sports cheer. Just so I hope you heard how it just rolled off the tongue like that. So now that you know a little bit more about my high school, back to Crack Day. So I don't think a lot of people in my class were thinking about smoking crack until they told us that it was 10 times as powerful as an orgasm. And then everyone kind of looked around at each other and asked, I'm sorry, where are we supposed to sign up for this again? So a little bit more about me now. So I'm trained as a psychologist. I'm a professor at Washington University in St. Louis. And I teach in the business school where only about 1 out of 4 of us are female. And the thing about being a woman teaching in the MBA classroom is that your students either want to sleep with you or they don't even want to sleep with you. and it's not clear which is worse. So at the end of the semester, I get teaching evaluations, right? The students get to rate us. And this is supposed to be my professionally developmental feedback, but they're anonymous. And so the students can and do say anything. I have a friend who got a comment that he teaches leadership, and here in Antarctica, you might appreciate this. He got a comment that said, you need to teach us more about extreme survival leadership. Like, in the case of an emergency, who do we eat first? Now, I mostly get good ratings. Sometimes I'll get some critique. That's fine as long as it's constructive. But every now and then I get something that goes under the category, shit they would never say to a man. which incidentally is the name of a Facebook page I actually do run. Shit I would never say to a man. Check it out, it's real. To me, the worst is when students feel like they can comment about women faculty members' appearance. So I've gotten comments about my clothes, my hair, the fact that I don't wear makeup. And commenting about my clothes is just weird because I wear literally the most boring clothes possible when I teach. I go to the most boring store in America, Brooks Brothers, and I ask them to sell me the most boring clothes they have. Now, I'm not the only woman who's gotten comments about her appearance on the course evaluations. I have a friend who is an uncommonly beautiful woman who regularly gets comments about her ass on the teacher ratings form, and this upsets her. Yeah, and it upsets me too. And the reason it upsets me is that nobody's ever commented about my ass. I mean, what is so wrong with my ass that nobody's writing about it in the teacher ratings? I want to say, so I am such a real New Yorker that I don't use out-of-office email messages. Now let me make the connection. When I was growing up, to be safe, we used to vary our routine. So we would park the car in different places, turn on lights at different times. We did this so that if anybody was scoping out houses to rob, they wouldn't know when we were home. And all these years later, I'm not throwing all that up in the air and telling everyone who emails me that I'm not there. Not for me. Not for me. Well, I'm going to do one more, which is Harry's favorite.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you about my kids. I have two beautiful kids, two beautiful boys, and I love them both equally. I really do. Yeah, I love them both. I'm going to put my stick down here. This is my microphone, by the way, everyone. I love them both equally. I don't play favorites, and you know, those of you who are moms, and who are the moms here? Yeah, and you don't play favorites, do you? You love them all exactly the same. Yeah, those of you who have siblings around here, your moms loved you equally. Although, actually, I'm kind of joking because let me tell you the truth. I play favorites. And my favorite is whoever doesn't smell as bad today. And both my guys play hockey, so sometimes that's quite a toss-up. Thank you so much, Antarctica! See you next, I'm not quite sure when.
Tonight. We'll see you tonight. Maybe.